So it's very, very interesting the way our whole system works, and which is why it is so confusing for the layperson,
Right.
and which is why shows like this, interviews like this are great to help.
Welcome everybody to Our Nevada Judges. And we are here today with Miss Augusta Massey,
Nice to see you.
who is running for judge in District 6?
Justice Court,
Justice Court.
Department 6.
Department 6, that's it. I'm just a regular old guy, so I don't know half of this stuff, which is why we brought in Amy Porray.
Hello.
Did I pronounce that properly?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Thank you.
You know, when you smile just right, you look like Madeline Kahn. Yes, you do.
Without the curly hair.
Yeah, no, that's great. Anyway.
Thank you.
So forgive me, Amy's going to start off the questioning, and we're just going to try to introduce you to Augusta and tell you why you should vote for her. We'll let her tell you that because we don't make any judgments here. We just want you, the voter, to understand who's running, what they're running for, and why you should vote for them. So take it away, Amy.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, good to see you, Amy.
Good to see you too. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
You said you're running for Justice Court.
I am.
And which township are you in?
All of Las Vegas.
Oh.
So big old wide Las Vegas. Does not include North Las Vegas or Henderson, but it's still a lot of room to cover.
A lot of room.
Huge.
Okay. Tell me how many years you've been a lawyer.
So I've been a lawyer now for 14 years, since 2008. All of my practice has been in this lovely state. I am not barred in any other jurisdiction. I don't want to take the bar exam ever again.
I hear you.
I don't think you could pay me to do it at this point. So 14 years here, and I'm ready to just stay here.
Okay.
I would like to ask you, could you tell me the difference between Justice Court, District Court, Traffic Court? Because I have no clue, you know, why would I be in Justice Court? Why would I be in District Court? What is the difference there, please?
Great question. So, funnily enough, they're all housed in the same building, the Regional Justice Center.
Right.
But the courts are split based on the amounts. So Justice Court is $15,000 and less. District Court is $15,000 and more. And then, of course, we have our appellate court, which is not based on the amount, it's based on the issue, right? If you're appealing a particular issue, and then we have the Supreme Court. So different courts, at least the lower level, is based on the amounts. And then after that, it's based usually on issue and things like in the Supreme Court. If you appeal from the appellate court, then the next level will be Supreme Court.
So if I went into a 7-Eleven and shoplifted a bottle of wine, I would go to Justice Court.
You would.
Okay, and if I went in there and stole everything out of the cash register, and that totaled over $15,000, I would end up in District Court.
You will most likely end up there, but the way our system works here is everything criminal works out of the justice system. So if it's a crime that is now more than a misdemeanor, so we're talking about felonies and gross misdemeanors, although you'll start in Justice Court, you will end up in District Court.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Thank
So
you.
all criminal will start from Justice Court, but depending on, again, amounts, what kind of crimes they are,
Right.
you'll end up in District Court. Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
So it's very, very interesting the way our whole system works, and which is why it is so confusing for the layperson,
Right.
and which is why shows like this, interviews like this, are great to help our, constituents understand what really is happening in the court system. Yeah.
Great.
Tell me about the department you're running for. Does it handle like these criminal cases that John was talking about, or does it handle other kinds of cases? Tell me about that.
Okay, so typically the court system, depending on the department, it could be civil or criminal, or it could be both. This particular seat is civil. At least as of today. And that's why I'm running for the seat. My experience is in civil law, and I feel like we need more civil attorneys in seats on the bench. We need more attorneys who have more civil experience, because I think the general public perceives court to only be about criminal law, and I blame all the shows. I blame all the all the law shows they have out there for this bad perception. But believe it or not, there are a lot of civil cases that come to our court system, and like you said, suing someone, right, for, I don't know, you were supposed to babysit my kids, John. You didn't babysit my kids. We had a contract, and for $1,000 a month, and you didn't do it. And so where would I go to get recourse? It will be in justice court, and that's a civil matter. That's not a criminal matter. So this is a civil seat that deals with everyday people, nothing to do with criminal, and that's why I'm running for this seat.
So something like what we call small claims court,
Yeah.
that's a civil court, right?
That's correct.
And if I'm understanding this correctly, a civil court or a civil issue, a civil court is different than criminal court?
Right.
Is that one is criminal, a criminal act, and the other might be my neighbor and I just have a disagreement about where the
Right.
fence goes.
Right,
Okay.
or even you bought a car from the car dealership, and
Right.
they were supposed to sell it to you for $5,000, and it was supposed to come with 4 tires, and you only have 3 tires.
Right.
I don't know what that is a good example, but you would go to court to try and resolve that. So it's mostly, that's why they call it the people's court, I feel, because it's mostly you and I, everyday people. 15,000 might not be a large amount for maybe a corporation or certain individuals, but for you and I,
Yeah.
it's a lot of money.
Yep.
And we need to have a way to redress those wrongs and right those wrongs besides criminal acts. And so the justice court is where you'll do that.
Okay, so is that, you said that's what your practice has been.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about your practice.
Okay, good question. So a lot of my practice has been a huge majority of my practice has been in civil. And civil covers a lot of laws, right? That's not necessarily criminal. So if it's not criminal, I feel like it almost falls into civil. So probate, estate planning, just general litigation about those matters that we talked about, forming businesses and, employers and employers disagreeing and having to work through those disagreements. So a lot of my practice has been business-based. I do a lot of bankruptcy. I do a lot of probate, estate planning. When we had the recession almost 10 years ago now or more, I became a foreclosure mediator, went through that training and did hundreds of cases there. And now with the recent pandemic, went back again, raised my hand to be an eviction mediator. So I've been dealing with a lot of landlord-tenant issues over the last couple of years since the pandemic. So all of these things, the department, like we talked about, civil, will deal with landlord-tenant issues and stuff of that nature. So again, 2 people disagreeing, landlords and tenants, and having to go through our court system. So all of that has been what I have been doing the past over 14 years of my career.
The question that I always ask everybody is, why would you want to run for office? I could not imagine having the responsibility of being a judge and deciding the fate of people who come before you.
Yeah.
And that has got to be a lot of responsibility. Why would you want to take that on?
Okay, so I want to do this because my heart has always been in service. And right now, especially after the pandemic, we need judges, I believe, who are compassionate, who care about our community, and who are committed to the work, the hard work, like you mentioned, of dispensing justice. And I have been a judge pro temp, besides running my own law firm for the last 10 years. So I understand business and what it is to hire people and fire people and, keep it running on a day-to-day. But I've also had the opportunity to sit as a judge pro temp, which, for lack of a better term, is like, tag you're it if the judge can't make it. And
It's like the substitute teacher.
pretty
Right?
much. Coach tag. But I've got a chance to then have a front row seat on the kind of issues that come to this court, to have a front row seat on the things that litigants are grappling with when they come in front of you. And I just know I can do a lot of good from all the work I've done, sitting on various nonprofit boards, being in leadership positions in various aspects of the bar. This for me is the next level, the next progression to be able to serve our community in a broader way. Like I said, my jurisdiction will cover all of Las Vegas. So this is like a next step or a next level. Yes, it might be hard, but if you don't challenge yourself, you don't grow. And I feel like I will be fantastic for this position. I feel like I'm uniquely qualified for this position, and I will love the opportunity to do it.
And if you'll forgive me,
Please.
I happen to know something that I'm going to ask you about that I hope that you're willing to talk about.
Okay.
And that is, what made you decide to go into law? Because my understanding was, if I'm correct, that was not originally what you started going to college for. So would you share that story with us, please?
Absolutely. So like you rightly said, I wanted to be an engineer. So I was going to do a lot of ones and zeros and deal with electricity and all of that good stuff. But my story, I have to go a little bit back, okay? I was born in Nigeria. I tell everybody that's where my sexy accent comes from. So I was born in Nigeria. And
Do you know the prince?
I do. I know all of them. I know all the princes, all the princesses call me. I got to look up. No, I don't.
Sorry.
It's inside joke.
They're never going to ask me to come back.
They're done with you. You're done, John. So running joke. If you don't know about Nigerian princes, Google it. Lots of fascinating things there. But my dad was killed. And I saw that as a teenager. And as a family, we just, wanted to get away from the trauma, wanted to get away from all of that, and decided, okay, America, great. Like, really love America. And we heard so many great things about the United States. And so when we came here, it was so exciting to be able to start afresh. I always tell people the story about when I first came and I went to Walmart, and it was so great, all those fresh vegetables, you had a little sprinkler showers, and you just push the cart, you just take things, you put in the cart. It was really, really neat. No, maybe not for you guys, but for me, it was like, yeah, this is the life. But within a few months of us being here, my brother was killed by a drunk driver. My brother was only 12 years old. He was coming home from middle school. That morning, I'd actually seen him because he got an award at school, and he was the most improved student in his middle school. And so we, as a family, we had all come in that morning. We loved on him. We saw him happy. We rejoiced with him. I went back to work. I was waiting tables at that time to put myself through college. And, someone, taps me at work and says, look at the television. And I'm looking at the TV, and I see my mom and my sister and my brother just lying still in the middle of the road, just not moving. And, in that moment, you can just imagine, my heart stops. What is going on? This is not happening. I just saw him. I literally just saw him. But it turned out that this lady was drinking in the afternoon. He was coming home from school, so about 2 p.m. And she was moving so fast, hit him 8 to 9 feet in the air. Best friend dies on the spot. My brother dies in the hospital a couple of days later. And it really, you have all this hope of America, and you're going to start afresh, and then it's like this trauma all over again. But it changed the trajectory of my life. The pain had to go somewhere. It became purpose. And I left engineering, never practiced with that, went back to school, got an English degree, got a JD, and just really wanted to help other families. Because his death introduced me to the American legal system. We had the criminal case going on because of DUI, so when we talk about crimes, we had immigration, so which is a little bit more civil but federal, right? We had immigrants into a new country. And then we had the audacity to sue the government too, because someone needed to be held accountable. Why weren't there no speed bumps? Why were there no sidewalks? Something that could have slowed this lady down long enough not to have hit my brother, which there were no protections. And so that was now a civil case. So you can see civil, criminal, federal, all of them going on at once. And you start to see the different ways that laws affect a life, affect a family, affect a community. And I saw good judges, bad judges, good lawyers, bad lawyers. And the impact was so strong. It really gave me purpose. And so I went back to law school. I became an attorney. I graduated in the middle of the recession. So the natural fit for me then was bankruptcy, helping people through, such a sad time in our history. And I opened my firm in 2012, and I've just been helping people, ever since then, because I understand grief, I understand pain, I understand what it is to be dealing with all of that and going through a system that can be very confusing. Like you're asking, why justice court, why district, and so confusing, and trying to understand that. And so it's that same level of compassion, that care that I want to bring to the bench. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
I think you just answered what I was going to ask you.
I'm sorry.
No, that's excellent. I just am so thankful you shared that. But I was going to ask, is there anything else that you wanted to share with the voters?
Okay. I just wanted to say that your vote counts. Your vote is your voice, and you should use it wisely. We are in a time where I think a lot of people are maybe tired, with the pandemic and everything that has happened. But I implore you that it is really important who you choose as your judge. As we've discussed today, there are several different ways this affects our lives, from traffic tickets, criminal, civil. And so it's really important that the person who is sitting there cares about the community, is committed to the community, has compassion, has actually walked in the shoes that you're walking in, and can understand all the emotions that you're feeling. I've had to explain to clients, what does this judge's ruling mean? How does this affect your life? What does this do? And so understanding the impact of what rulings can do to a life, to a family, to a community, I think it's really important. So judges are usually on the down ballot. People forget about us. Don't forget about us. And there's a song, Michael Jackson, don't forget about us. So don't do that this time. Take some time, research your judges, see what they've done, see the people who are running. We do have a primary. Primary starts, early voting is May 28th to June 10th. Primary voting is on June 14th. So do go out and cast your vote and do your own research. And I always tell people, stay classy, vote Massey. I always have to have to stay classy, vote Massey. So thank you so much, both of you, Amy and John, for the opportunity to be here and do this today. I truly, truly appreciate it. And I apologize to the viewers if you heard my kids. They're in the background. They're campaigning with mommy. So mommy first, candidate second. So they go everywhere with me. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you all for watching. And as Augusta said, when you go into the ballot box, it's extremely important that you vote the whole ballot. Too many times, people will go in there, they'll get halfway down, they don't know who they're voting for, they don't know who these judges are. They're city council, the board, school boards. These are people that affect your daily life every single day. They affect your life more so than the president, the senators, your congressmen. These are the people that you interact with. These are your neighbors. So please, go in there, take the time. It's going to take you another couple minutes to go down there and educate yourself. And that's why we're here, is to help educate these voters. Amy, anything you want to add to that?
No, you said it better than I ever could. Both of you did, so thank you so much. Exactly.
I am not running, nor do I ever intend to run for any office. And thank you all. And we have more coming up.
Yes, we do.